The stories you've never heard.
Who did Suzanne Hill famously slap?
The jokes behind the jokes.
What would happen if I did a great big fart?
For the first time ever on Ash, Luttsy, and Susie O'Neill.
I just peed a pants.
We go behind the laughter.
Oh, I'm loving this twice a week thing.
Yeah, you like it?
There's just more of us. We got a lot to say behind the scenes. I've really noticed. There's a powerhouse that runs this show, and it may be an illusion from the front, but all the heavy lifting's been done behind the scenes. Not really by myself, Noel or Nick, but certainly by you two, executive producer Alicia and assistant producer Lachie.
Hey,
welcome back. The week's done. Well done. We've got through another one. I know that I worked hard for 3 days. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very happy about it.
I worked hard for 3 days as well.
How was your short week, Nick?
I pulled through and survived. It's really funny. You forget how much stuff and we do end up doing, and the order in which you do it, and that's what I think I found after 3.5 weeks of not concentrating on anything specifically, sitting down and going, all right, now I've got to post this podcast, and now this podcast, and make sure I get this video up and transfer that across, and then make sure that's posted. Oh, I've got this story, it's got to get their client posted, and go, oh yeah, that's right.
All while in the background, Alicia's texting you, Nick, do this right now.
No, I like the consistency from you, Alicia, because at least you've been using just one form of communication, and usually that's just voice.
That's true.
You notice that I'll do something if you physically tell me to do it, but if it comes through like Microsoft Teams or a text, I'll take my time.
50-50, yeah.
You always I don't know how you do it. You always message me when I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, have you posted this? Like, Nick, have you posted this podcast? I'm like 5 minutes at this point.
It's a talent.
But that's very normal. And how are you doing, Lachie? Another week done for you.
Another week done. No, I'm feeling pretty good. It's
nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. I was waiting for
what is the hat?
For Alicia to say something. Nick and I actually matched today unintentionally, but we're matching with.
Oh, I would never have noticed that.
Toby's a state coffee. I just
not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
I did think the T was a J.
No,
and I was like
Jobies.
Yeah.
Jobbies. But they sent them in, and I don't know if it made it to air, but I'll make sure they get to air. They're great hats.
While you were away,
nice.
we did a Mitch on the street. I think down at Toby's estate.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
At Newstead, so I think
and
they
the guys
kind
of pressured them into sending us some stuff.
Yeah,
double plugs.
We did get, but you and I
know how they get.
This is a podcast audio format, so it won't actually matter. But we're wearing almost the exact same thing today, down to our hat. So I put the hat on to match you.
Nick, are you wearing black formal pants?
No. Tuxedo pants. No, these are like black
joggers.
Jogger tracks.
They are, yeah.
These are like honestly, I've been a little bit inspired by the aesthetic from overseas.
Yeah, you brought. I mean, when Ash went overseas, he was influenced by Paris fashion. You've been influenced by what?
The chavs in Manchester.
Yes, and it will pretty much spot on. And my biggest takeaway, because Ash asked me about the fashion the other day when Suze rocked her overalls yesterday.
Yeah.
So do you see a bit of overalls? I'm like, look, my wife loves wearing them. But I did notice in Dublin, a lot of girls in Dublin, like the fashion in Dublin was sensational. And I've made some you make some observations, because usually Europe is 6 months ahead of us when it comes to trends and whatnot. And when Ash went to Paris a year and a bit ago, his job was to bring back fashion advice. Guys are dressing more the same than ever, and honestly, the aesthetic is, if you're from the UK, it's you want to be mistaken for a professional footballer, rugby player, or even an Ireland Gaelic hurler or Gaelic football player. It's all the same skin fade. It's all matching like jogger tracksuit pants, Nike Air Force Ones.
I'm waiting for the morning that you come in with the bum bag across your chest.
Yeah, look, honestly, there was times when I was carrying my wife's handbag for her. I'm like, well, geez, am I on this right now? Like, maybe. But no, we are dressed the same. And, I made a big thing about, I'm so consistent. I made a big thing about, never covering my calves ever again. I woke up this morning, I'm cold. That's it.
It was cold today.
Yeah, I know.
It was an interesting morning. I'm glad you mentioned this morning. It was an interesting morning for the team because at least the team in studio, none of them slept well last night.
I didn't sleep well either.
You didn't sleep well. Alicia maybe slept too well?
No, I didn't. I didn't actually oversleep today.
Okay, just today.
And the past couple of days have been pretty good. But no, I overslept enough that I had to catch an Uber in instead of walk.
Yep.
And when I was in the Uber, we did receive a text from Mitch Lewis in a group with me and Lachie. Is anybody in the studio yet?
Nope.
Which is just his way of saying, I'm late and something's about to go wrong on air, because if nobody's there to press the stop button, it will launch the top of hour at the same time as the song, which is exactly what I heard from sitting in my Uber.
Yeah, that will happen. That used to be paneling back in the day. That used to be one of my great.
And it's
my great
awful
fears.
because I'm just sat in the Uber and he had Nova on, and it's a little bit of excitement of, he's listening to
Hold on,
Nova.
he's about to come in.
He's about
And
to come
then-
in, which tells me, are we off air?
What are you talking about? What's going on here?
And then we
Talking about Mitch Lewis.
Definitely not talking about you, buddy.
So we heard what happened, Mitch.
What happened?
We were just talking about, how sometimes the team can be a little bit late and things can go wrong.
Especially at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, me. Yeah.
No, the other Mitch.
When you say the team, and I'm like, oh, what do they do? Yeah.
So-
I don't want to cover ground that we've already covered.
Yep.
Because
That's
of
fine.
people listening
Yeah,
already.
for
You
sure.
don't
But
wanna hear
yeah,
it,
I was sat in the Uber and I heard something on the air and I was like, I'm sat here and I can't do anything about it. So I got in and by the time I got here, Mitch was already here and I was like, having a bit of a joke with him about it. And then I go to actually sit at my desk and do my work and realize I haven't brought my laptop.
You've had a shocker.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So then I had to pay for another Uber
Oh, you're
home
joking.
to grab my laptop
really go
and
back
Uber
and-
back.
Yeah.
Well, what else am I going to do?
I don't know. I
Oh,
just
no,
thought-
tell them to keep the meter running, knowing you'll probably stuff something else up.
So this morning I did catch 3 Ubers before I'd even started work.
I did think about
Cost me nearly
offering.
$50.
You should have driven her.
That-
Lockie.
yeah,
What are you
I thought
doing?
I was
We
sitting there
couldn't
on my
both
laptop.
be out.
Yes,
Like,
you could. Where do you don't live that far away?
No, 10 minutes. But that's half an hour.
That's fine.
There and back.
Well, the thing is that I'm not sure if you noticed the top of hour. It's a radio term. If you don't know what the top of hour
yeah.
is, generally it's like hey, there's usually a grab in there that's out of context, and the guys go 6:03 Monday morning or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's where really it's an opportunity to say how's everyone going this morning, check in with one another, and then also to I guess promote what's coming up on the show. And the top of our, specifically also Mitch's weather at 6 o'clock this morning was chaos because his news booth wasn't working.
That wasn't loose.
Yes.
So he had to run in here. I think we put up a video on Friday, today. This
Today.
podcast goes
This
up
is
today.
Friday,
So
yeah.
Under the new regime, it goes up
exactly.
today, yes.
So we put up a video on our Instagram stories. You can check that out. But Mitch is he's trying to do his sport. You've got Luttsy making cat noises in the background.
Ash will join him in the cat noises.
I'm running around frantically trying to organize sheets of paper. So had I gone to help Alicia, I wouldn't have been able to get the sheets in front of the guys in time because I'm in there as the top of hours going, still organizing stuff.
You know it's bad when even Suze is joining in on
Yeah,
the chaos.
Susan's trying to
She's
yeet
like,
the giant
yeah.
tennis ball at Mitch's head.
So I'm surprised anything made it to air this morning.
I know.
Around
It was
6
a
o'clock.
morning.
So-
It was a morning.
But no, good to see that your laptop is here currently,
Yeah.
and you made it back.
Just about.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Proud of you. But
thanks.
that's look, we've managed to get another week done. And Mitch, you had to cover a bit of socials for me throughout the time, so thank you for that.
Definitely covered some of them. Some.
Yeah.
Because no one's like
are you
Nick.
trying
No
to
one's like.
Are you trying to distance
Love-
yourself?
No. I'm just saying, whatever was expected of me, I definitely fell short. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But look at the bloody bar that Nick sets.
No, I
Honestly,
know.
like we get a feel of that while you
It's
are
very
here.
good to
you
have
can
you
go,
back.
you can leave the room. I'll still talk about you like this.
Thank you.
We see what Nick does when he's here, and we appreciate it. But then when he goes away, and it's like, oh god damn it! Like he's really got the fastest fingers in the west to like getting these things done,
That
right?
was all part of
That's
the
what his
grand
wife
plan,
says.
guys. It was
I just
our-
needed to say that. Thank you.
this
Mitch,
was-
get the double F out of there. Yeah, he's now that you're back, and you know the gang's all here.
It's nice to be back, and all the storage on my phone is already gone. Because
yeah.
It's just constant video feeds of the guys. And
Did you just do a purge while you're away, just of all your
I
Ash Luttsy
I
content?
purged a lot of stuff before I left, and then I filled it out because I couldn't possibly delete on my wife's request like 5 different full song videos of Newton Faulkner. So I'm finding ways to get them out of my storage and keep and protect them. But no, already full again. So look, it's been a fun week back on the socials, I will say, and I don't think anything has topped it more than the reaction to Billie Eilish's new single this morning.
God,
Oh
that was
my
funny.
god,
That was
They were heated.
That was for them to, and Buzz made a really good point, for them to not take their headphones off during a song
that's
and
big.
keep listening to it and continue to react through it. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
and it was
That was the horniest song of 2024.
it was a strange experience because at 7 o'clock this morning, what we do is at least for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing Fraser Coast Fridays. And what happens is that they ask me to come to the studio, and I generally will punch in the number live on air for the person that is going to win. And so I've walked into the studio we generally try not to walk into the studio when the show's going on. And so we try and stay out of
mistakes
there.
have been made there in the past, haven't there?
Yep. And so Alicia and I will
No.
try not to walk in, but what happened was I've walked into the studio, everyone's got the headphones on, and they're all making faces. They're all making these really, like, I couldn't work out what was going on. And there was just silence. Like, there was absolute silence in the room, which doesn't usually happen while the songs are playing. Usually they're having conversations about who knows what. And so I've walked in going, have I done something? Like
The answer to that is always yes, by the
Yes.
way.
well, yeah. But I was trying to then rack my brain going, what have I done?
What have I done wrong?
And I'm looking at Buzz, and Buzz, like, is giving me a
Buzz is
bit
sweating.
of a weird look. And everyone's just in a really weird mood because of this new Billie Eilish song. So it definitely one of the strangest experience I think I've had.
I'm banking on that video doing well. I'm
Yeah.
hoping for that.
Yeah.
Really nice and early. I'm like, okay, we've got
So if
something
you
here.
listen to this and you haven't seen it, go click, comment, and share,
Yeah,
please.
guys, like I'm about to go to our whole office going, hey, guys, you work here.
Help
like
our
and share
algorithm.
every video.
Yeah.
That's part of your job.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do like Nick's work, because we all like it, give him some love on socials.
Yeah.
I think you would never
Aw.
want someone to do that. You'd never want someone to be like, hey, Nick, you're doing a great job. But I'm going to say it
Thank you, Lachie. Thank you.
because I think you're doing a good
I
job.
do well not to make it seem like I'm fishing for it, but absolutely I am. So well done for taking the bait, everyone. No, it's very nice. to
And
be back.
also, I think we did mention it in our last producers pod, the whole off-air chagrin debate.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Which,
shared that already?
if
Yeah.
you didn't, if you've not already listened to today's podcast, Lachie might have slipped into a Smarter Than Sue's question.
Very proud of you for
Yeah,
that.
no, it felt good. For those who missed it, basically, we get Ash and Lutz and Suze to say a little bit of a, hey, coming up on the podcast today, and I put the word chagrin in.
Quick show of hands around the room. Who knew the word chagrin when you first heard it? Let the
This
record
week.
show that is Mitch, Lachie, and Nick with their hands up, and
Alicia
little Miss
didn't.
Wiggin in the corner.
Little Miss Wiggin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put the word chagrin in there. I think there was something that was slightly annoying Luttsy, and so much to Luttsy's chagrin was the line,
done.
or much to Ash's chagrin was the line, and Luttsy had no idea what the word was.
Which, you know what, that surprises me.
Yeah.
That really surprises me because I feel like he's got
Should be the other way around usually.
he has a vast vocabulary.
Mm.
And he's quite well spoken. Like, he speaks all the time, and he's studied journalism and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a real stickler for. He and Suze always have that debate on air a lot too about how important spelling is. And Susie's like,
Yep.
you've got autocorrect on your phone, everything's done, voice to text, whatever it might be. You don't need to know how to spell. Kind of now you don't really need to be able to do maths that well because you've got a calculator in your pocket
Yep.
or on your watch or whatever it might be. So the fact that he hadn't heard the word chagrin really surprised me the other day, and was so passionate about it that
Yeah.
he had never heard it,
Yeah.
and that it's not a real thing,
I-
and that no one knows it.
I,
He was
uh,
angry at you for writing it.
Yeah.
His reaction was so violent to it that I actually decided not to post the video.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there is no way
There's quite
that
a few swear words
there's
in
no
there.
way that I can paint him in a good light here. He's not going to come across well if I put this video up.
So, of course,
As funny as it was.
of course, Lachie planted it then in a Smarter Than Sue's question, and much to Lutzy's delight, spell
good.
chagrin.
I like it. I mean, Ash knew the word, and so that the main if Ash didn't know the word chagrin, and then I put it in Smart and Sue's for him to read, that might have been a little bit too far. But because Lutzy's he's caught in the crossfires,
Yeah,
he's
he's
not
just a
having to read the
bystander.
questions. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. There was something else that actually I wanted to bring to you this week.
Ooh.
Live reads. We mentioned
yeah.
last week, or at least on Wednesday, I should say, the idea that the guys get scripts to read.
Yeah.
And throughout a show, what will happen is that companies, businesses will pay Ash, Luttsy, and Susie to say things.
What?
I know.
Yeah,
within our ad breaks, or what we would call a spot block. That's a radio term for you there.
Does the ACCC know about this?
Oh, I don't know. What will happen is that they will be designated 30 seconds for them to read a script, and it's basically them talking about any sort of company.
Yeah, and they're kind of written sort of not verbatim. There's a little bit of wiggle room with
Yeah,
them.
I think they sometimes say, "Hey, ad lib a little bit if you're passionate about the
Yeah.
brand," that kind of thing. This week, one specific brand, TK Maxx, has paid.
They're clearly running a big campaign right now.
And it must be a significant amount of money, because the other thing about live reads is that generally Ash, Lutz, and Suze will get money on top of their ordinary salary. The way that radio works is that live reads, the talent get paid extra. You got some.
No, I was going to say, quick little thing on that. I don't know how it was paid at this station. When I used to do little panel shifts back in the day, the mornings announcer, she used to get paid more in live reads for one shift than I would for my whole week.
No.
Because back then, it used to be $50 a read or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is here.
Yeah.
And anyway, I finally became an announcer over at across the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right here. Hey, I know I'm making extras here. The rate might not be okay, but I'm going to actually go, actually, a deal was done within the station that the talent don't receive fees for live reads instead. And I'm like, oh, so that's worked into our pay? Oh, no. It's I'm like, so it's just normal. Yeah, it's just normal. Damn it!
Oh my god.
I had that
So,
exact same experience
yeah.
at a community station, nonetheless. But yes, same thing where it was like I knew that the breakfast people were getting paid money for the scripts that they were reading on top of their regular pay. And I finally got the chance to do a live read, and then I was like, "Oh no, you don't get paid any extra for this." And I guess the theory behind it is right.
I think in that circumstance they were just saying you're not important.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's an interesting way to tell him, but
So that's how it worked out for me when the guys were on holidays for Easter, and I did 2 weeks worth of brekkie just
Yeah.
myself, and I did plenty of live reads.
oh no.
not for you.
Oh.
Well, I've had experience in this place too, where if you do something extra, you often need to chase up, to
Yeah,
see,
okay.
rather than it be someone else's job who gave you the script. They would just see to it that person. No, you need to go. Hey, that thing that I'm supposed to get paid for, can you make
Okay.
sure? I get,
Oh,
well, now that you've asked, yes, I can.
I mean, surely every communication of sales is just perfect two ways.
Oh, absolutely.
Two-way comms.
So maybe it's just a case of the fact that I didn't ask, but
Well,
I
this-
surely didn't see a sense.
This podcast has taken a turn.
No, well, yeah,
This
and
is
look,
behind the scenes of radio. This is where we're
I
taking
didn't.
people.
I didn't want it to take it here.
But sorry, Lachie, we'll go back to where you were.
The point is generally though that if someone is endorsing a product or endorsing a brand, that they should be paid extra for doing so as a part of, instead of just as a part of the show. We might have Wallace Bishop give us some prizes. They're going above and beyond to say specific things about a company. Now, TK Maxx obviously have a massive campaign going at the moment because this week we've had 4 live reads or three live reads a day.
A day, yeah. Sometimes it's just once a day, but this is 3 times a day. It's once an hour.
Which doesn't usually happen. So we've had 3 live reads a day. Ash and Luttsy have kind of been doing them from Wednesday to Friday, getting 3 each. And we've definitely gotten looser as the week has gone along. There's definitely been more ad-libbing. And I've got one of them here just to...
Please.
What do Brookside, McGregor,
TK Maxx stores.
Fortitude Valley, and
It's definitely TK Maxx stores.
Alexandra Hills have in common? What do you say, Luttsy?
TK Maxx stores.
11.
Wait and see. Now, sure, all of those suburbs that I mentioned are in Brisbane, but that's not the answer. The answer is
11.
no.
TK Maxx.
They're all home to TK Maxx. TK Maxx. And you're right. There is
Yeah.
11
They're
TK
everywhere.
Maxx stores in Brisbane. 11.
TK Maxx.
Count them out. TK Maxx, Brookside, McGregor, Fortitude Valley.
Anyway,
Alexandra.
you get the idea. Generally, there is a script which is, I think, it's been the exact same script for the last 3 days.
Yeah, usually there's like a change in them if there's going to be multiple ones.
Yeah.
So you kind of keeps them on their toes.
But I think the script generally was, what do these 3 suburbs have in common?
Yeah.
And the answer was TK Maxx. Or you hear Buzz chime in with 11, and that was one of the other live reads that was, how many TK Maxx stores are there in Brisbane? And I think the script is meant to say there's more than you'd think,
Yeah.
and you then have 11. Well, it's more than you think, but if you think 11, that's about right.
But yeah, the funny thing is, and I'd love to think that they did that intentionally, knowing who they were giving these scripts to, knowing that if you give them the same thing over and over, they will play silly buggers with it.
Yeah.
Because ironically, that's going to have greater cut through. I'm going to remember this for a very long
Yeah.
time. I'm going to remember the TK Maxx
Yeah.
campaign because they actually had some fun with it.
Yeah.
When a lot of there can be other clients in the past that will go like, you have to stick to the script verbatim because, someone from their company usually very proudly has copied
Yeah.
this out. And that's fine.
There's a lot of work that goes into a script like this, and you want to make sure that your message is being delivered clearly and concisely, and you want to make sure the message is getting across. And so I can understand that clients would go, well, no, this is what we've said, this is what we've written. Please deliver it as we've written it. But then, yeah, when you get moments like this,
All right, big challenge.
What?
Okay, it's the Friday quiz.
Okay.
Okay,
11.
no.
TK Maxx.
We know that there's 11 TK Maxx stores in Brisbane.
Yeah, we know that. It's been established.
Brookside.
Okay, Brookside, yes, by Buzz. Yes, Suze. McGregor.
got Suze chiming in.
Yes,
What's the
anybody else?
question?
Where are they? Where are they? There's 11 TK Maxx
Fortitude Valley.
stores.
Everyone in Fortitude Valley.
Anyone say Cannon Hill?
Cannon Hill.
Cannon Hill. Anyone say Loganholme?
Yeah.
Then there's
Mention
one out
Whitefield.
there.
In the Hyperdome.
So 11
Anyway, you
TK
get the idea.
It's magnificent work.
It's fantastic. I think honestly that is maybe the highlight of
This is
the.
why they have paid the big bucks.
Yep.
Or the extra bucks on top of the big bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's honestly been maybe the highlight of the last 3 days for me is just those TK Maxx live reads because I have to make note in our show log that we do that these live reads have been done. And
You also have to grab the audio of them and send them back to the client.
Yeah, I was wondering why you had
no,
them all
actually,
as well,
that's not my job to do that. That's actually someone else's job
distancing
in there.
yourself from that.
No, well,
Well, either way, I'd like to thank you for bringing that to my attention because I dare say those have been on air when I've been on the street.
Yeah.
And I don't always catch every
no, that's true.
ad break because I'm still out of the car or something. So I hadn't heard any of that until
Do you know
now.
what would be a great idea? We do a podcast of just the best live reads.
Does that go on top of the podcast that you came to? We're going, Nick, we're going to do a podcast of just ads.
I think it's part of the same one. So we do.
No. They want more, Lachie. It's a different podcast.
All of a sudden, we've got so many sponsors for that podcast. Like, it's more about it's more.
Look,
the
if we're trying to bring in advertisers, and
Yeah.
maybe maybe commercial radio has had it wrong the whole time. Maybe people are tuning in for the ads.
No,
I know that's what you're doing, listener. I know that you just can't wait for us to finish talking so you can hear the post-roll ad at the end of this. It's probably the same as the one at the start. If we go long enough, I can chuck a mid-roll in here too.
no,
At a
my-
really opportune.
You're actually skipping through this right now. 15 seconds.
My idea is that yes, we have the pre-roll ads, and then we go into some funny live reads that the guys have done, and then we go into some post-roll ads, and the whole thing is just called Just the Ads.
Just the ads. It's beautiful. Lachie, you did mention to me as well on the back of that you have a I know you're scheming something for next week
yeah.
in the subject of live reads. I'll let you reveal as much or as little as you want here because I believe the payoff for this will be sensational.
I mean, you know, the guys do get live reads to read out as part of the show. Sometimes after the show, they'll also get some what we call premium live reads, which will have a little, you know.
Do they get paid more for those?
I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure exactly what the payment organ. I don't know what I'm saying here. I don't know exactly they get paid for live reads or for premium live reads, but. I do know that sometimes after the show they get ones that have a little bit of extra salt and pepper. There might be some production. It might be something like, oh, we got Fitzy on the line, and then because Fitzy will record his part separately.
What?
Whoa! Are you joking?
Wow.
Lucky, you're just dropping so many bombshells on this.
Hey, this is behind.
Mate, we're pulling back the curtain, and the magical Oz isn't quite what you think it is.
Until I get told to not
some
say
listeners
something.
now are like, ads just aren't what they.
What do
told
you
me
mean?
they
Those two people talking to each other on the phone? Like that wasn't a real conversation about how good the value was at their local car dealer.
Or when they're talking about an upcoming movie or TV show and they're having a phone conversation and all of a sudden you've got sound effects playing, you've got the trailer playing over them talking. You mean that isn't live?
I constantly tell people when I talk about films who produced it, who directed it, and what their roles were in
And
previous films.
I believe if anyone can do it, it's our Stan Ambassador. He could get that sort of stuff done.
It's true. Anyway, the guys get scripts after the show to read, and what will happen is that we will generally give them to them, and they'll read them out. And I reckon that we could maybe get some fake scripts in there.
Because
and
they
have
will.
some fun with
It's
it.
a bit Ron Burgundy. You
Yeah.
put some look, and you have built a trusting relationship with them, which may be broken.
Well,
That
I
if you
feel
put
like
the
Alicia should be the one to do it because I think they might suspect something from me. They might suspect
So
a
they might
Chagrin.
suspect it is you.
Or can we get beyond even an ad?
Ooh.
Give it to Samara, who's obviously head of fun and
Could she
games,
come in
to
brief?
come in and with a brief. So we've got a client's come on board. It's about whatever, and it's some product they do not want to. Something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so
Very
tell them that the
brand.
money's already been spent.
Yeah, we have to do this, guys. We've got to come up with a promotion. And it'll end up being one of those pitches where they sit around for 30 minutes struggling and then still not coming up with an answer, only to then 3 days later find out that wasn't real and they wasted their time. But that would be very funny. Especially if all of us find better things to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Buzz
sorry
gotta go
guys.
do
I've
middle.
actually got to go do something. Samara, can you just leave this? Can you sort this out with?
Yeah.
No, but then I wouldn't want to punish Samara.
No, she's
With
already busy enough.
Half an hour of trying to then extract ideas.
But something along those.
Yeah.
I think we can find different avenues. That once they think that the ad thing, that once they're onto that, I feel like then we bring in someone like they wouldn't suspect it from Samara. Any of
No.
us in this room, anyone
Yeah.
that's part of like
That's
the,
true.
the 6 to 9 team.
Yeah. Let's. I like breaking trust. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It's been a good scheming session. Very quickly, what is coming up next week, Alicia?
Smarter Than Susie's up to $1,500
Yeah, buddy.
on Monday.
We have a fun new game, all thanks to a new client that has.
I don't know what's real anymore.
No, neither do I. I could see BS written all over your face right
No,
That-
this is true. This
It's
is
actually BWS.
You chance to win $1,000 every day.
Yeah, chance to win $1,000 every day, and that's been a fun one to organise as well. So yeah, bit of strutting.
Good
Okay.
tease.
I hear.
Okay.
Ah.
Well, one thing we gave away this week, which I was very happy to be a part of, I'm literally wearing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Magic
yeah.
Round tickets.
Magic Mitch.
There were some of my favourite prizes we've given away, like passes to all 3 days. And I will say a big shout out to, the winner obviously on Friday,
Yep.
or today's winner, and a big shout out to the person who came down and missed out, who worked for another radio station, drove that radio station's car down.
No.
Names.
Listen to the end of that break where I'm awarding it to Joel. Great Joel, who'd been sent off by his wife and his
Yeah.
kids for the last 3 days
Tell
to
us
track
the
me
radio
down. Oh, well.
station.
And as I'm wrapping it up, and I look over, and a Black Thunder rolls
Oh!
up. The Jeep rolls up, and I'm like, "Oh, this is awkward."
No, the
like,
Suzuki Jimneys.
We were away from the the statues where the Today Show, where Sunrise, where all the action was happening, and there's a lot of people. They're setting up for
So
the
they've
for the
sought you out.
Festivus and of entertainment happening at Magic Round over the weekend, and I'm like, of all spots, of all the gin joints and all the towns, the Black Thunder rolls up, and I'm like, oh, this is awkward. We're doing an overbreak. We've got the truck there, and this young woman gets out, and then she's sort of standing there awkwardly, and then as we wrap up the break, the car takes off, and she walks sort of towards us, just enough that I'm like, hey.
Sheepishly?
Friendly banter. We're
Yep.
both from radio stations. Like, hey,
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
going? She's like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing down here today? She's nothing. It's just I'm really hoping to get along to the games. And I'm like, oh yeah. How good's it going to be? Yeah, I'm actually working all
No.
weekend. I'm still talking business, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you don't.
You're
you
a
don't-
professional.
You don't have any other tickets? And I said, no, we literally he's just our winner. And so then we had to sit there, and she's like awkwardly talking about she goes to some of the Broncos games, and she'd like to
Stop.
whatever. Yeah. There.
My favourite part about this is she would have been in that radio station's car listening to our radio station.
Yeah.
To know that we
To
were
know where we were,
there
yeah.
and that we had tickets to start with.
Yep.
Oh,
Why
that's
are you not
cute.
listening
Because
to
you're
your
not
own
dressed in Nova
station?
merch. You're
That's
wearing
right.
you're wearing your Magic Round multicolored kits.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
so
funny.
a big shout out to
Let's
to
clip this
them,
and send it
whoever's-
to them.
Yeah,
whoever's in the
I
Black
guess. I
Thunders.
guess at the end of the day, I guess we just have better prizes. We've got more. So you're listening over. That's what you get. You get the tickets.
Sorry, Jack Ball.
Yeah, it's all right.
Wow, calling out.
Jesus, dude, naming names. Okay. All right, guys. Great week. Great to be back with all of you. Let's have a nice weekend, and there'll be plenty of podcasts over the weekend, I'm sure. Bye. Bye.